From attempting to murder a young man who made a joke about his vehicle to the event that ensued outside the Las Vegas strip club, Blueface has once again found himself in the walls of a courtroom, pleading guilty to 2 charges. Blueface, who has been in the headlines consistently for not so positive things, has recently reacted to his prison sentence after he pleaded guilty to allegations laid against him. But you see, we got it all on tape. Upon turning himself in after violating his probation order, this might be the final nail in the coffin that takes out Blueface.
It's the mandatory issues, man. I see you on the other side.
Blueface's response after court verdict. The charges laid against Blueface were grave. Initially facing attempted murder, the stakes were high and the potential for a severe sentence loomed over him.
If you fail to comply, a warrant for your arrest could issue. You would face extradition back to the state of Nevada from California or wherever else you may be found. Do you understand everything, Mr. Porter?
Yes.
The public watched with bated breath as the case progressed, with many wondering how the rapper would navigate the legal minefield that lay ahead. As the court date loomed, the legal teams were in a flurry of negotiations, and the outcome was a plea deal that would change the course of the trial. Blueface's defense managed to strike a deal with the prosecution, one that would see the attempted murder charge reduced to a probation-only sentence. This meant that Blueface could avoid a potential prison term of 2 to 5 years, provided he adhered to the conditions of his probation.
Brought back here on any kind of probation violation, especially anything involving weapon, I will not hesitate to put you in prison for a significant period of time.
The courtroom was tense as the judge laid out the terms of the deal. The defense argued that the plea was a fair resolution, considering the circumstances that led to the incident. They painted a picture of a man who felt threatened and acted out of a misguided sense of self-defense. However, the prosecution and the victim saw things differently.
He doesn't deserve to be here. He doesn't deserve to be out and walking around. He doesn't deserve any of that, honestly. But because he has a little bit of money and a little bit of a name, you guys are going to give him that, and that's okay.
The victim's statement was a powerful moment in the proceedings, expressing a profound sense of disappointment and a belief that justice had not been served.
Like I said, I'm completely disappointed in all of this.
The judge, in her defense, sought to clarify the victim that she wasn't attempting to sway his opinion or engage in dialogue with him. She emphasized that if the victim had other pending matters, he could pursue alternative avenues if he disagreed with the judgment. Concluding, the judge affirmed that the court would operate within its established parameters to resolve the matter.
I can assure you, I'm not giving anybody any breaks because of any status they have or money they have.
However, she sincerely conveyed that her verdict was rendered in accordance with the jurisdiction of the court system in which she operates. Blueface, who had maintained his composure throughout the trial, now stood with a look of relief washing over him. The aftermath of the Las Vegas shooting incident saw Blueface entangled in a web of legal challenges.
I'm on house arrest. Hopefully my next court date, I could be off house arrest if we can come to an agreement.
Despite the weight of his circumstances, Blueface remains resolute in his outlook. He expresses a desire for understanding and an agreement that could potentially lift the restrictions of his house arrest. His next court date looms on the horizon, a beacon of hope in a sea of uncertainty. But this story takes an unexpected turn when Blueface claims a sacrifice was made, not for fame or fortune, but for love. He asserts that he took a plea deal, a move that would tether him to house arrest, all to shield his pregnant ex-girlfriend, Chrissy Rock, from the cold grasp of prison bars. This decision was not just a legal strategy, it was a sacrifice, according to the rapper himself.
And I had got into something at this casino where Rock hit this girl, and then I had to play defense.
He had accepted the plea deal to prevent Chrissy Rock from facing jail time. "I'm only on house arrest because I took all the charges for Rock," he stated, suggesting that his actions were a protective measure for the mother of his unborn child. His assertion painted a picture of a man willing to bear the brunt of the law to shield his partner, a narrative that added a layer of personal drama to the legal proceedings. The rapper's claim raised eyebrows and questions. Was this an act of selfless love, or was there more to the story than met the public eye? Public perception was divided. Some saw Blueface as a figure of loyalty, a man who would go to great lengths for love. Others were skeptical, questioning the veracity of his claims and the dynamics of their relationship.
I let her be a mom. I'm gonna let her try to be a mom and let her do her best at it.
Blueface's significant other, a pillar in his life, has become a partner not just in romance, but in navigating the complexities of his current reality. Together, they are redefining what it means to get money, focusing on building a stable and secure future for themselves, away from the unpredictability of past endeavors. The rapper's perspective on success has matured, with a newfound emphasis on shared goals and mutual support. Fatherhood, too, has taken on a deeper significance for Blueface. Blueface in the face of adversity. The safety and well-being of his children are paramount, and the thought of potentially not being there to guide and protect them weighs heavily on his mind. His reflections on parenthood are tinged with concern as he contemplates the legacy he will leave for his offspring and the role he will play in their lives as they grow. Blueface's legal issues have undeniably cast a shadow over his family life, but they have also provided a catalyst for growth and a recommitment to his responsibilities as a partner and father. As he looks to the future, the rapper's thoughts are dominated by a desire for stability and a determination to rise above the challenges that currently confine him. The charges and sentence. Too often than not, Blueface unfortunately is always in the headlines for not so positive things. The footage shows the arrest of Blueface as he is forcefully pushed against the wall while in the presence of his ex-girlfriend. In the bustling streets of Los Angeles, a scene unfolds that captures the attention of onlookers. Blueface, a name that resonates with chart-topping hits and a unique offbeat style, finds himself in the grasp of law enforcement.
That's Blueface. The undercover cops just pulled up on him, bro. They got him.
The air is tense, the crowd is a mix of confusion and concern, and the question on everyone's lips is, what did he do? This isn't just any arrest. It's the moment when a music sensation is suddenly thrust into the glaring spotlight of controversy. Blueface, whose real name is Jonathan Porter, catapulted to fame in the late 2010s with a unique offbeat style of rapping, becoming an overnight sensation in the hip-hop community. His rise was meteoric, his persona larger than life, and his fan base rapidly expanding. But beneath the glitz of his celebrity status, trouble was brewing. On a night that was supposed to be just another glittering Las Vegas experience, things took a dark turn. It was outside a renowned strip club, a place where the high rollers and the dreamers converge, that Blueface's world tilted on its axis. The Las Vegas incident that ensnared Blueface was a night that began with revelry and ended in chaos. On the 8th of October 2022, the rapper and his entourage were at a gentleman's club in the heart of Sin City. It was here that a seemingly innocuous joke about Blueface escalated into a full-blown altercation. The situation rapidly deteriorated when the man who made the joke was assaulted by members of Blueface's group. The conflict spilled outside the club, where the man, in an attempt to flee, jumped into his truck. It was at this moment that Blueface, believing the man was reaching for a weapon, fired shots. The truck, riddled with bullet marks, and the man, wounded in his left hand, became the center of a criminal investigation that would have far-reaching implications for the rapper. This admission would catapult the incident from a mere altercation to a headline-grabbing saga of attempted murder. The gravity of the situation was undeniable, and the implications were immediate. Blueface's decision in the heat of the moment placed him at the mercy of the legal system, transforming the rapper from a music chart mainstay to a defendant in a criminal case. There was an underlying sentence of 2 to 5 years in prison should he violate his probation terms. The financial toll was equally punishing. Blueface was ordered to pay over $14 million to the club, a staggering sum meant to compensate for the lost revenue and damages incurred by his actions. This restitution was a crippling blow, threatening to unravel the financial stability that his rap career had afforded him. As the case unfolded, the prosecution presented its evidence, painting a picture of a man who let his temper get the best of him. However, the defense told a different story, one of a situation that escalated beyond the rapper's control, leading to a momentary lapse in judgment. After intense deliberation and the weight of the evidence considered, the court reached a decision. In a surprising turn, Blueface was granted probation. The verdict was met with a collective gasp. Probation for a charge as serious as attempted murder was almost unheard of, especially given the circumstances of the case. The court's decision to grant probation hinged on several factors, including Blueface's lack of prior convictions, his admission of guilt, and the context of the incident. It was a resolution that offered the rapper a second chance, an opportunity to steer his life back on course without the burden of incarceration. Probation meant Blueface could continue his music career, but not without newfound scrutiny. The terms of his probation required careful adherence to the law, a stipulation that placed his every move under the microscope. The case also ignited a wider discussion regarding celebrities and their interactions with the legal system. Blueface's situation became a touchstone for discussions on the intersection of fame, behavior, and accountability. Questions arose about the treatment of high-profile figures in the legal system and the message that probation, rather than incarceration, sent to the public. The verdict of probation had multifaceted implications for Blueface's career. Although he retained the freedom to continue his artistic pursuits, the probation verdict was a reminder of how delicate a public image can be and the repercussions of impulsive impulsive actions. The rapper's journey through the legal system highlights the reality that being a celebrity does not exempt one from the repercussions of the law. Blueface's first brush with the law came in November 2018 when he was arrested for a vehicle-related shooting. The incident was a harbinger of legal troubles to come, casting a shadow over his burgeoning career. In 2019, he faced felony gun charges after a traffic stop led to the discovery of a loaded, unregistered handgun in his possession. The probation that loomed over Blueface following his 2021 altercation with a nightclub bouncer was a tightrope walk he navigated amidst the chaos of fame. The incident at Skinny's Lounge in the San Fernando Valley was more than just a scuffle. It was an event that would trigger a series of legal dominoes. Charged with robbery and assault, Blueface found himself entangled in the justice system. The legal woes continued, and in 2021, Blueface was arrested for robbery and assault after an altercation with a club bouncer. This incident would become a pivotal point in his story, as the charges resulted in a probation sentence that required strict adherence to the law. However, the terms of this probation would later be violated, leading to the situation that currently confined him. Despite these challenges, Blueface attempted to maintain his career momentum, releasing new tracks and engaging with his fan base. However, the terms of his probation were clear and non-negotiable. Any misstep could send him back into the arms of the law. The turning point came in early 2024 when Blueface was implicated in incidents involving his children's mothers, Chrissy and Rock, and Jaden Alexis. These personal disputes spilled over into the legal realm, culminating in charges that would ultimately lead to the violation of his probation terms. Blueface presently finds himself incarcerated at the Men's Central Jail in Los Angeles, having voluntarily surrendered for probation violation on Friday, January 12th. Police documents acquired by XXL on Monday, January 15th, reveal that he will remain incarcerated until summer, with a scheduled release date of July 2nd, 2024. As mentioned earlier, Blueface was arrested during a court session on January 12th for breaching his probation related to the assault of a security guard at a club in San Fernando Valley, California in 2021. "I got some mandatory matters to attend to, man," Blue expressed in a video recorded as he headed to court. "I'll catch you on the flip side." According to Carlissa Saffold, Blueface's mother, the latest legal turmoil stems from charges related to incidents involving his children's mothers, Chrissy and Rock, and Jaden Alexis. Chrissy accompanied Blueface when he turned himself in. "On our hearts, we're praying for Jonathan," Saffold wrote on her Instagram story. "Jaden contributed to one charge, while Rock brought about the violation of the other. That's why I've been adamant about keeping them apart. As parents, we always seek what's best for our children. I love them all, but they're better off apart. Praying for everyone to heed their parents' advice." Last year, Blueface managed to evade imprisonment in connection to a shooting incident in Las Vegas in October 2022. Blueface received a 5-year suspended sentence for the shooting on October 2nd, 2023, after accepting a plea deal the previous June. As the trial commenced, the prosecution laid out their case with meticulous detail. They presented evidence that painted a vivid picture of the night in question. The jury was shown surveillance footage that captured the altercation outside the strip club, a key piece of evidence that would prove to be a turning point in the case. As the trial progressed, the atmosphere in the courtroom grew heavy with anticipation. The public, fed a steady diet of sensational headlines, waited for a verdict that would either vindicate the rapper or seal his fate. But in a stunning turn of events, Blueface and his legal team changed their strategy. In a move that sent shockwaves through the courtroom, the rapper decided to plead guilty. The charges he faced were reduced from attempted murder to the lesser charges of shooting at an occupied structure and discharging a firearm into a house, vehicle, or craft. This plea, a calculated risk, meant that Blueface was admitting to his role in the shooting incident, but it also meant that he could avoid the harsher penalties that a conviction for attempted murder would bring. The moment Blueface uttered the word guilty, the courtroom fell into a hushed silence. The rapper's voice, usually so full of confidence and swagger in his music, was subdued, almost swallowed by the gravity of the moment. The judge, presiding over the case, looked on, his expression unreadable as he considered the implications of the plea. With the guilty plea entered into the record, the legal proceedings took on a new tone. The focus shifted from proving Blueface's guilt or innocence to determining the appropriate sentence for his admitted actions. The prosecution argued for a punishment that reflected the seriousness of the charges, while the defense pleaded for leniency, citing the rapper's lack of a prior criminal record and his contributions to the music industry. As the sentencing phase approached, the question on everyone's mind was what the future held for Blueface. Would the rapper, who had risen so quickly to fame, be able to rebuild his life after this brush with the law? Or would this guilty plea mark the end of a career that had only just begun to flourish? For Blueface, the plea marked a turning point in a career that had been on an upward trajectory. The music industry, which had once embraced him, now watched cautiously to see how the situation would unfold. Record labels, collaborators, and venues were forced to weigh the talent and popularity of the rapper against the potential backlash backlash of associating with a convicted felon. The delicate balance between art and artist, always a contentious issue, was tipped into the spotlight once again. The implications for Blueface's career were significant. His music, often a reflection of a certain lifestyle, was now cast in a different light. Upcoming projects were put on hold, and endorsements that were once within reach became question marks. The rapper, who had built a brand on being unapologetically himself, now faced the challenge of maintaining his persona in the face of legal and public scrutiny. The impact of the guilty plea extended into Blueface's personal life as well. Family and friends who had watched him grow to be what he is now stood by him during a period of uncertainty. The rapper's relationships were tested as those close to him grappled with the reality of his actions and the consequences that followed. For Blueface, the line between his public and private selves became blurred as the world watched and judged his every move. His image, once that of a brash and confident young artist, was now tinged with the shadow of his guilty plea. The tattoos and flashy jewelry that had become his trademarks were now juxtaposed with the somber attire of a defendant in a courtroom. The transformation was stark, and it spoke to the broader theme of redemption and fallibility that resonates with so many. As Blueface navigated the aftermath of his plea, questions about his future loomed large. Could he make a comeback, or had his narrative taken an irreversible turn? The music industry is no stranger to tales of redemption, but it is also unforgiving in its memory. The trajectory of the rapper, once celebrated for their meteoric rise through viral fame, had transformed into a sobering narrative warning of the repercussions of one's choices. Life in prison. In a twist of fate that seemed almost scripted for a man whose life had become a public spectacle, Blueface found himself in the crosshairs of the law once again. Details emerged of a probation violation, a serious breach that would not be overlooked by the authorities. With the terms of his probation breached, Blueface did the unexpected. He turned himself in, a move that suggested a glimmer of accountability amidst the chaos.
It's a mandatory issues, man. I see you on the other side.
The rapper's decision to turn himself in was not made in haste, but was the culmination of a series of events that left him with few options. The incident that tipped the scales occurred one fateful night when Blueface was allegedly involved in a situation that directly contravened the conditions of his probation. This latest development adds another layer to Blueface's complex legal battles and raises questions about the future of his career. As the justice system calls, the world watches, waiting to see how the rapper will respond to this latest command. Blueface's past actions have come back to haunt him. It was here, amidst the glitz and glamour, that the rapper previously faced legal challenges. While details of the probation are kept under wraps, it is known that Blueface was on a tightrope with Nevada's legal system, with specific conditions he was mandated to follow. The Las Vegas judge's order echoes like a thunderclap in the life of Blueface, threatening to cast a long shadow over his career and personal life. The implications are profound. If he complies, the rapper could find himself shuttling between courtrooms and correctional facilities, a clear contrast to the stages and studios where he made his name. For an artist whose persona is built on a foundation of invincibility and bravado, this legal predicament presents a jarring reality check. The specter of additional jail time looms large, potentially derailing planned projects, tours, and collaborations that are the lifeblood of a musician's livelihood. The ripple effects extend beyond Blueface himself, impacting his family, friends, and the entourage that depends on his success. The stakes are high, and the eyes of the world are watching. Fans and critics alike speculate on the outcome, with social media ablaze with opinions and hot takes. The situation poses a test of character for Blueface. How he navigates this maze of legal troubles could redefine his image and either solidify his standing in the hip-hop community or leave a permanent scar on his legacy. The broader impact on Blueface's future is undeniable. The music industry is fickle, and time away from the spotlight can be detrimental to an artist's relevance. Moreover, the legal system's unpredictable nature means that nothing is certain. Blueface's team must now chart a course through these turbulent waters, balancing the need to address his legal woes with the imperative to keep his career afloat.
Only a real player will go to jail looking like he's gonna go to the Himalayas.
Blueface, upon surrendering himself, admitted guilt to the charges that ultimately led to his incarceration in Los Angeles County Jail. Within the walls of LA County Jail, he resides in administrative segregation, which signifies a separation from the general population. This isolation is a double-edged sword, offering protection yet also a profound solitude that weighs heavily on the psyche. Despite the grim circumstances, the rapper's living conditions bear semblances of comfort that are not afforded to many others in his situation. His cell, a space solely his own, becomes both sanctuary and cage, where meals are delivered with a regularity that is both a luxury and a reminder of his confinement. Blueface could leave his cell for up to 7 hours weekly, a privilege that allows him to partake in education classes, religious services, or to simply breathe in the open air of the rooftop yard to call his families or his lawyers. The amenities extend to a shared unit with a television, a window to the outside world that flickers with images of a life on pause. Blueface also has access to the library, which offers a mental escape, a chance to wander through the pages of books and momentarily forget the bars that keep him bound. Showers, a basic human right, are scheduled every other day, with the exception of court days when he is granted the opportunity to wash away the grime of incarceration before facing the judgment of the law. Even in jail, the basic human desire for choice and flavor is catered to through a variety of commissary options. Blueface can select from an array of items, from Texas beef and Cajun chicken ramen to sliced pepperoni and hot cheese crunchies. Jalapeno peppers and hot tortilla chips add a kick to the monotony of jail cuisine, while club crackers offer a taste of simplicity. For those moments when the sweet tooth beckons, he can indulge in Oreos, blueberry and chocolate donuts, chocolate chip cookies, or bear claws. All of this can be washed down with cocoa or coffee, small comforts in a place where comfort is a rare commodity. He will remain incarcerated until at least the summer, having violated his probation stemming from a 2021 assault. The specifics of the conditions he breached remain unclear. His mother is attributing blame to his ex-partners, but a hearing occurred last Friday, resulting in his custody until July 2nd. These details of Blueface's life behind bars paint a picture of a man confined yet not entirely forsaken, a life that continues within limits, a rhythm that beats to the time of a jail clock. This is all we have for you in this video. If you would love to keep exploring more exciting videos like this, then go ahead and click on any of the cards on your screen.